The realistic tactical FPS genre stands out with its focus on discipline, planning, and sound decision-making rather than fast-paced action. In these games, positioning, team coordination, and accurate environmental awareness are more important than reflexes. This video brings together FPS games that stand out with their realistic approach and emphasis on tactical gameplay. Here are the most realistic tactical FPS games. Arma Reforger is a game that approaches the tactical FPS genre with pure realism, bringing the military simulation aspect to the next generation. The game bases its battles on planning, communication, and positioning rather than fast-paced action on large-scale maps. In Arma Reforger, survival is not about reflexes but about teamwork. The ballistic system, weapon recoil, and environmental factors directly affect the outcome of battles. The player must be part of a team rather than acting as a lone hero. Thanks to the modern Infusion engine, animations, physics, and sound design offer a more natural feel. While the experience is still raw and the learning curve is steep, the level of freedom and realism it offers sets Arma Reforger apart in the tactical FPS genre. It's a powerful experience for those seeking a military simulation that demands patience but is highly satisfying in return. Ready or Not is one of those games that pushes the boundaries of realism and takes the tactical FPS genre almost to a simulation level. The game completely abandons the classic action concept, focusing instead on the stress and seriousness of SWAT operations. Making the right decisions, analyzing the environment, and coordinating with the team are vital rather than acting quickly. Civilians, as well as AI enemies, can be a threat, and a single wrong move can lead to the failure of the entire operation. Weapon usage, room clearing tactics, and a rule-based intervention system form the basis of the game. Ready or Not offers an experience that doesn't reward the player, but mercilessly confronts them with their mistakes. If patience, discipline, and realistic combat come to mind when you think of tactical FPS games, this game is one of the strongest representatives of that list.
Don't shoot! Another one at the door! Another one at the door! Wait! Shit!
Escape from Tarkov is one of the games that pushes the bar for realism to the highest level when it comes to tactical FPS. The game completely breaks with classic FPS conventions with its risk-reward balance that keeps the player constantly under pressure. Weapon usage, ammunition types, armor systems, and ballistic calculations are handled almost at a simulation level. The slightest carelessness can lead to the loss of equipment collected over hours in a single moment. In Tarkov, combat relies more on information, positioning, and sound tracking than quick reflexes. The health system is also unconventional. Each part of the body is affected separately, and the right interventions are essential for survival. The game aims to keep the player constantly apprehensive rather than feeling powerful. If you're looking for real stress, real risk, and a real sense of loss in a tactical FPS, Escape from Tarkov is one of the toughest yet most impactful experiences on the list. Six Days in Fallujah is a tactical FPS that realistically portrays urban combat in Iraq. The game highlights the complexities of modern warfare and the uncertainty of confined spaces. Combat relies less on quick reflexes and more on patience, team coordination, and careful maneuvering. Narrow streets, enclosed spaces, and constantly changing threats force the player to plan every move. In 6 Days in Fallujah, reading the environment, communicating with teammates, and making the right move at the right time are crucial for success. Rather than offering an action-oriented experience, the game aims to adopt a realistic military approach. If you're looking for seriousness, discipline, and a realistic sense of combat in a tactical FPS, This is one of the most noteworthy games on the list.
We got fucking weapons and shit in here! I hear movement. You're in my way. I'm moving. Moving out.
Squad is one of the standout titles in the realm of tactical FPS games, thanks to its teamwork and battlefield discipline. The game presents modern military conflicts at a slow, planned pace, far removed from arcade speed. In Squad, positioning, communication, and map knowledge are more crucial than individual skill. Weapon recoil, line of sight, and environmental factors directly affect the outcome of battles. Thanks to the commander and team leader system, battles don't progress randomly. They take on an organized and realistic structure. Advancing without logistics, defensive lines, and support elements is nearly impossible. If you're looking for a realistic combat feel, discipline, and team coordination in a tactical FPS, Squad is one of the clearest answers to this question. Insurgency Sandstorm offers a tactical FPS experience that tackles modern conflicts with a tougher and more direct approach. Instead of a fast-paced arcade tempo, the game prioritizes positioning, map knowledge, and voice tracking. Combat is generally short, but the margin for error is quite low. A wrong move can be instantly punished. Weapon recoil and limited visibility make control difficult during combat, necessitating cautious movement. The limited on-screen information increases the sense of uncertainty on the battlefield. While Insurgency Sandstorm is more accessible than large-scale military simulations, it maintains its seriousness through its pace and pressure. Combining a realistic FPS experience with dynamic and controlled combat, the game offers a strong alternative for those seeking balance in this genre. Arma 3 is one of the war games that pushes the concept of realism to its extreme. Progress in the game isn't about quickly pulling the trigger, but about reading the environment and being in the right place at the right time. In open terrain, distance, line of sight, and sound control become fundamental elements of survival. Combat requires patience and preparation rather than instantaneous reflexes. A mispositioned team can be scattered before even firing a shot. Instead of offering preset scenarios, Arma 3 gives the player the freedom to create their own plan. This freedom, combined with mod support, transforms the game from a single title into a massive military simulation platform. For those seeking a challenging, slow-paced experience, yet one that remains unrivaled in depth and realism, Arma 3 is a top contender on that list. Hell Let Loose is an FPS game that approaches World War II through the logic of battlefields and military organization rather than individual conflicts. The game recreates historical battlefields on large maps, making progress dependent on area control and troop organization. Battles aren't random skirmishes. They revolve around defensive lines, supply points, and coordinated attacks. In Hell Let Loose, weapons inflict high damage, and careful movement across open terrain is essential for survival. Thanks to the role system, each unit undertakes a different task, and balance on the front lines is maintained through the correct use of these roles. Instead of offering fast-paced action, the game emphasizes the slow, oppressive, and disciplined nature of war. Presenting a realistic FPS experience through historical context, battlefield organization, and tactical progression, Hell Let Loose offers a powerful experience for those who appreciate this approach. Ground Branch is a game that takes a realistic FPS approach to modern military operations, focusing on planning and progression. The game is structured around small team missions, allowing for different approaches to each operation. Equipment selection, weapon configuration, and entry point determination before a mission directly impact the progress. While firefights in Ground Branch are brief, they require high concentration. Incorrect positioning or hasty actions can have serious consequences. Weapon mechanics, field of view, and environmental factors are realistically rendered. Instead of fast-paced action, the game prioritizes controlled progression and disciplined movement. For those seeking a realistic FPS with a modern operational feel, planning, and careful combat structure, Ground Branch offers a clear example.
I see enemy! He's one of them!
Grayzone Warfare is an FPS game that tackles modern conflicts through an open-field environment and a continuous mission system. The game's operational logic, spread across a single large map, moves combat away from confined spaces and into more natural terrain. Progression is based on mission tracking, positioning, and risk management. Combat requires not just quick reflexes, but accurate environmental awareness and timely action. In open terrain, line of sight, cover, and range control are crucial. Instead of offering an action-focused experience, Grayzone Warfare aims to highlight the planning and continuity aspects of modern military operations. Presenting a realistic FPS experience through open-field combat and mission-based progression, the game is a compelling option for those who appreciate this approach.